I want to ask a little bit about, um, call them roadblocks or challenges or struggles that you've had in the
Mhm.
20-year journey of building business. I'm My guess is there's been numerous, not just one or
Mhm.
two, but
Yeah.
I'm curious if there's one maybe one memorable challenge or hurdle that you faced that kind of comes to mind,
hmm
that you can kind of share that experience with us and how you overcame it.
hmm Well, one of the things that I think about is that we got to nearly the 20-year mark before we looked at it and thought, okay, we're just two people. We need some outside guidance here. Because what we realized was that we were really good at surviving, but not so good at thriving. So we had gotten to the point where we were like, wow, like we've sustained this business for 20 years. A colleague in the industry at one point called me a business athlete. And I was like, love that term because I'm not an athlete in, in the other sense. So I really like that analogy. But so we were hanging in there, we were running the marathon, but we needed an outside perspective to say, okay, you've gotten this far. Where do you want to go? Because we were so good at the day to day and not so good at, well, what's coming down the pike next year? What do we want this to look like in 5 years? And so um, I think it was a big challenge to slow down enough and carve out any time really to work on the business because as you all say, we were so busy working in the business, we weren't working on the business. And so I really feel like we've been jumping those hurdles over the past year or so of, if we stay with that analogy of the athlete and like someone running hurdles around a track, it's like we see the hurdles coming and we jump them instead of just pushing the hurdle out of the way and just trying to like, oh, we'll just keep that pace, it's fine. Now we have a vision and we're implementing things within the business to hit those goals and to delegate more. And the more we delegate, because I realized that I had 3 jobs within PR by the book, not even outside, not the 3 companies that we've talked about, but within PR by the book, I was in charge of the business development, was managing the publicity team, and I was an owner. And as we know, like there's quite a bit of time and focus that needs to go into being an owner, but I wasn't exercising that role because I was spending all of my time in the other 2 roles. And so now we've been able to take steps to hire some really great people. The thing is, I I also realize being in business 20 years that your team is your biggest asset. So when we started on this journey, it was kind of like, oh, well, I can just, go out and be on my own and like be a freelancer. And, my husband was like, no, we're going to set this up as a business. We're going to grow this, we're going to run this as a business. We're going to get the website, we're going to get the logo, we're going to do that. And so that was another example of me just being like, oh, let's go. I can do this. I can be a freelancer. And saying, no, we're going to like look at every piece of this and we're going to set this up as a business. Well, good thing we did because straight away we had more clients than I could handle because I had people who came with me from the other business and we immediately had to start hiring people. Now, granted, back in that day, they were part-time contractors that we were bringing on. But, that was the early days. And we were able to grow to be where we are now, as a team of, full-time employees. And so I would say that that was definitely a challenge that we had to realize was a problem
Mm.
and figure out what steps we were going to take. And now we have so many plans and so many ideas and so much vision for what we want, the next 5, 10 years to look like.